Hey guys, welcome to another Anon Gremlin video. Today we are doing another patch 1.06 re-review of a weapon in Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. Today we're turning to the Ruzad shotgun. So the reason I've decided to do the Ruzad is because it is one of those guns that had a substantial increase. So its damage per pellet, like fraction of the bullet we say, has gone up from 98 to 171 damage. That's quite a substantial increase. That is almost double. This doesn't really translate well onto the stats you're seeing on screen, so I've done a little bit of work myself. Before, the gun was doing 515 damage, now it's doing 905. That may be different for you, that's just a rough calculation I made. The rest of the stats are the same, with a 70 rate of fire, 3 max clip size, 51 max ammo, 31 accuracy and 40 weight. And I must say, the Ruzad is being tested on silver just because it is an uncommon weapon. Apparently uncommon weapons should be used on silver, and as the dev said in their live stream, they shouldn't really be used for gold. So I'm just going to run through if it's silver viable, but I'm also going to mention whether I think it's gold viable. And I'm going to say the Ruzad has been significantly increased. If you watched my first video of it, I wasn't too critical, but I did mention how it was a gun that was fairly annoying because it has quite a long reload time and it didn't seem like it was doing enough damage for a bullet to warrant that, and it was basically a starter and finisher gun, and it still feels like that in many ways. Granted, it on silver, which it was originally reviewed on, it wasn't great at just finishing brutes at close range. You did have to combine it with a power. Now you can use the Ruzad basically to take out enemies with one body shot and one headshot. That's your brute enemies, your normal red health enemies, so that is very nice to see. And the thing with that is it can be a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes I would be getting one headshot off on an enemy, so a raider here, not necessarily in this clip, and I'd be getting that enemy killed straight away with one headshot, and then sometimes I'd have to put 2 critical hits on an enemy to kill them. So this gun is very inconsistent. I think that's just coding errors within the game, so be wary of that. You may have had some instances with it where it's probably taken longer for you to kill an enemy, but I think that's just issues within the game. So be warned when I make the recommendation that it can kill an enemy with 1 critical hit and 1 body shot if they're a brute enemy, because sometimes that doesn't come into play and doesn't work so well. But really, it is still the sort of gun that you're going to be using mainly in conjunction with powers as your starter or finisher weapon. So either to run down enemies' health a little bit and then use your powers on them, or to use your powers on an enemy and then use the shotgun to quickly finish them off. And it works amazing with the Vanguard or any character that has charge, really, so you can get into an enemy's face and then get those point blank hits, make sure every pellet from the bullet hits the enemy, and just be able to literally go into that enemy's face and deal a lot of damage. That's obviously what a shotgun's made for. It's quite a close range gun, and that just really works well with charge. So you want to make sure when using this gun you're as close to the enemy as possible, just so you get all those pellets onto the enemy, because as you saw with the way the gun works, they've updated the damage per pellet, so make sure all those pellets land to get your maximum 905 damage. And everything else about it's fine. I'm still a little bit cautious about its reload time. I think it's a little bit too long, but I guess that's okay considering it's a high damage gun now. But I would like to see an improvement in its reload time, just because a lot of the guns with bad reload times on this game, I tend to just go, no, I'm not using it, because it often gets me into a spot of bother, especially guns like the Ruzad here, because you are using it at close range, and often if you need to reload and it takes too long, you can leave yourself vulnerable to death, and quite a few times you will find yourself having to be revived by a teammate. Moving on to whether it's gold viable though, I would say yes, if you highly take my recommendation that you use it as a starter and finisher weapon, and you use it in conjunction with powers. If you're going to put it onto a character that will aid the shotgun in no way whatsoever, you just wanted to run a shotgun, you're not going to be doing well with the Ruzad on silver, but definitely not on gold. If you're running it on a character that has the likes of charge, can get into enemies' faces without being killed too easily, etc., you will find the Ruzad to be quite gold viable, especially if you've updated your charge so it does quite a bit of damage to enemies. You will find you'll probably be able to finish off an enemy with 2 critical hits, and those critical hits shouldn't be hard to get off because you are close up to that enemy. So I'm going to recommend, if you actually use this on gold, I will say it's gold viable, but you have to be careful. If you do my Turian Agent build, which I kind of showed off in a review of the Turian Agent, the Ruzad would be pretty acceptable, especially when you go invis and you're able to do twice as much damage. So the Ruzad could be an absolute killer there. but that is my high recommendation for the Ruzad. Don't go into a gold game just banking on the gun itself. It does need a lot of aid whether that be from powers or modifications. So that is my review. Obviously it gets better with leveling as well. That's a criticism I see a lot in the comments. They're like, Anon, you've reviewed this, you said it's bad, but it's going to be a better gun at X. And I agree with you, in a lot of you in that sense. Some guns are aided by getting to level X a lot more, but I do try and test these guns out where I try to synthetically get it to the damage it would be on X, whether that be through modifications or stats in my character. So I thought I'd mention that. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'm sorry there wasn't any reviews yesterday. I was watching the Swansea Sunderland game, and then today I've been watching the whole Crystal Palace game, so I haven't been able to get through those reviews as quickly as I was like. I was just more cautious about Swansea getting relegated from the Premier League, which happily hasn't happened. So that's a little bit of insight for you there. But I will hopefully push out more reviews this evening, and I hope you do enjoy them and enjoy playing Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer in general. So peace out, enjoy.